After the tease at the end of the first movie, we finally got what we wanted. But is the Christmas spirit gone? Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all new Talkin Movies. As always, I am your host, the real Gino Reynolds, and today we're going to be talking about the return of Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. Today we're going to be talking about the Christmas Chronicles Part 2. At the end of the first movie, spoiler alert for it, we got to finally meet Mrs. Claus, and it's Kurt Russell's real life lady, Goldie Hawn. And after seeing that moment, a lot of people really wanted to see them do a part two together, and we're finally getting it. So is it worth watching? Well, let's talk about that. You have the return of the family from the first one. Kate is definitely the main character this time around. The son, he's in the movie, but it's really not, he's not in it very much. The family is on vacation in Cancun. The mom has a new boyfriend. At least they like each other. They were friends for a long time, and both of them had lost their spouse, so they found comfort in each other. But you can tell that they're gonna probably end up together. But Kate is not real happy about this. Her brother seems to be okay with it, but Kate, she is like, well, it feels like if they get together, my dad will finally be gone for good. Um, so you have the main plot, which you find out that there is this evil character named Belsnickel. And he's played by Julian Dennison. So adding Julian Dennison to a movie for me is always a plus. If you haven't seen Hunt for the Wilder People, you definitely should. He is trying to find a way back into the North Pole, and he needs a true believer to do it. Well, as we all know, Kate is a true believer, so he's going to use her to get back. When she's at the beach in Cancun, she makes a wish to Santa. She's at the beach thinking he's gonna hear her, saying that she makes a wish that is not her Christmas list. She wants a certain thing to happen, and she ends up the family ends up winning a free like day vacation, like where it will split them up, and this is where Belsnickel is able to technically kidnap Kate and her probably future brother, Jack, who has his own character developments. He's afraid of everything, pretty much. They end up near the North Pole, where Belsnickel dumps them off in the middle of the snow. Santa finds them and brings them to the North Pole. And this, of course, lets Belsnickel get into the protective field of the North Pole, and that's kind of where the story goes. Belsnickel's trying to destroy the North Pole for reasons that the movie gives you, and of course, it's up to Santa and Mrs. Claus and Kate and her possible future brother Jack to stop him. Look, you're not going to recreate the magic of the first one with this movie, but this movie really didn't need to. It gave us what we wanted, sort of. When Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn are together, they're great. That being said, they were together enough, but their paths split them up for a good chunk of the movie. Because you have one thing going on over here where Mrs. Claus has to take care of that, and you have this over here where Santa has to take care of that. So it splits them up for a while. And I'm not saying those parts of the movie are bad, but I think a lot of people would probably agree that you'd want to see the two of them together more. So that's a gripe I have with this movie. Also, being that the movie is still dealing with the way that the loss of the father has affected the family, you would have thought the brother would have been on this adventure too, but he's too busy in Cancun with his girlfriend. And especially there's a scene that happens in the movie. It's like it would have been a great scene. It's a really good scene for Kate. It would have been a good scene for the brother too. And maybe they'll do something in the third one. I don't know. But he probably should have been in the movie more. But they're also trying to set up the fact that these two families might come together. And Kate isn't really too thrilled about Jack. At the first, he's not real. It's more about she's not too thrilled about Jack's dad. So I know they're playing that into the plot. They're putting that in the plot, but I think the brother probably should have been there too. It would have been fine if you would have had the three of them there, because both of them could have went with Santa on his adventure, given what happens during that adventure. Other than that, though, I watched this movie with my boys, and they really liked the first one. I really liked the first one. We had a good time watching it, and we had a good time watching this one too. The effects, they haven't improved. The elves are still, they still don't look the greatest. The effects don't look the greatest, but it's just a fun, family movie. I'm not gonna knock it too much if I'm having a good time. Again, you've got Kurt Russell returning as Santa Claus, and I guess he loves playing this role, and he sees that playing Santa Claus might be like, whenever he ends acting, that Santa Claus might be his final role, which is kind of an odd role you'd want to go out on. I honestly would love to see him play older Wyatt Earp, but that's just me. But you have him and Goldie Hawn. They're great together. The kids' adventures are fun. It's funny. The movie, I will say, the plot, we'll just say, it straight up borrows. Yeah, we'll just say borrows a few different plots from a few different movies and just kind of puts them all together. There's nothing you won't see coming here. When you find out this is happening, you're like, oh, this will probably happen, and it does. If you have hunches in this movie while watching it, you're probably going to be right. And that's a detriment to the movie, but that being said, if you're still having a good time watching it, that's not going to bother you too much. This movie isn't trying to be the most original thing in the world. It's just trying to give you a good time on this adventure. I mean, I don't want to name too many movies that it takes from, but because it would give away some of the plots. But there's one scene where I'm like, oh, I mean, though I'm sure Despicable Me 3 took it from something else. It's like, oh, that kind of reminded me of Despicable Me 3, and just a few things I'm just pointing out here and there. And again, I want to mention another movie it takes from, but that would really ruin the one of the bigger plot twists or plot points in the movie. I did enjoy Julian Dennison as the villain. Again, you put Julian Dennison in a movie, and most of the time, if not all the time, it's going to be enjoyable. Because, man, give him the silliest role, and he just goes for it. So I liked him in this a lot. It's just a fun family movie. You don't expect it to be better than the first one. It's not, but it's still a fun movie. It's a fun sequel to the first movie. The first one's still going to be better. I thought the first one had a little bit more originality to it, but this one is still a fun sequel. You get to explore the North Pole a little more. You get to see some of the stuff that happens around Santa's village. It's just a fun little adventure to the North Pole, and that's it. If you can just sit down and enjoy a 2-hour movie on Netflix, the movie might have been a little long. It's a little over 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken, or around 2 hours at least. But if you're just looking for a good family movie to sit down with your kids or whatever to watch, and you like the first one, you're probably going to like this one too. I know that a lot of the reviews are kind of tearing into this one, but I wasn't expecting a masterpiece with this. I wasn't expecting a masterpiece with the first one, and I got a really good movie. And this one, I was just expecting some more fun, and I got it. So I recommend this movie. But that being said, if you didn't like the first one, this one, this one isn't going to convince you. I thought the end of this movie was kind of silly and cheesy, but it's still, it was still an enjoyable movie. It didn't need a perfect ending. It just, the adventure itself was well worth the watch for me. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel, like this video. If you have anything to say about the Christmas Chronicles Part 2, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Till next time, I'm your host, the Real Gino, Gino Reynolds. See you later.